Hello everyone, welcome back to Coach Craig Sports. Today is Friday, and we're going to be looking at some DraftKings DFS. This is going to be the Sunday slate for this Wildcard weekend. So I'll be going through each position, kind of talking about who I like, who I don't like, relative to their value. If you guys missed yesterday's episode, that was over the Saturday slate, so be sure to check that one out as well. Like I said in that video, Saturday does have a free contest presented by Jose Cuervo. One free entry, so be sure to check it out. Be sure to get into that one as well. And then Sunday, I don't believe there's a free contest for the overall slate, but there is a free contest presented by KFC for the single game slate, and that is the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Cleveland Browns. So be sure to check that one out as well. But without further ado, let's get into it. Like I did yesterday, I'm going to be going through each position, kind of talking it through, picking guys, and kind of trying to make a lineup based on that as well. So we'll start off with quarterback. We got Lamar Jackson, Ryan Tannehill, Ben Roethlisberger, Drew Brees, Baker Mayfield, Mitchell Trubisky. The guys that I do like out of this group is Lamar Jackson. You know, the Tennessee Titans defense isn't that good overall. Tannehill, I think, will have to throw the ball a decent amount in this game, so I don't mind him either. But in terms of price point, the guy I like the best is Ben Roethlisberger at 6,100. So I'm going to put him in. Talk about quarterbacks a little bit more. I think Lamar Jackson you should have in a decent amount of lineups. I think that game's going to be very high scoring, so him and Tannehill should definitely have some pretty good play and give you guys some points. Drew Brees could be all right. Baker Mayfield could be all right as well. Trubisky I'm not too excited about. So that's pretty much the quarterback position in a nutshell for the contest. I'm just going to go with Ben Roethlisberger in this slate. Then we move over to running back, and this is actually a pretty good running back slate. So we got Derrick Henry comes in at the highest, $9,200. That's pretty close to what he was sitting around all season. So if you're picking him, you're definitely going to be paying down at a couple other positions. Alvin Kamara, $8,500. He's definitely worth it, but he did test positive for COVID last week. He is supposed to be back for this game, but if he's not, then you obviously can't play him. But $8,500 is a pretty big price to pay for him, especially coming back from that as well. If he doesn't play, you got Latavius Murray further down here. He's $4,500. That would be a steal at that point in time. You got David Montgomery here, $6,900. Not the best price that I'd pay there. The Saints are very, very good against the run game, running backs in general. Should be okay in terms of out of the backfield, but not somebody I'm really looking to pay up for. Then we got Nick Chubb, $6,700. Decently priced there, I think. I'd rather have him than Montgomery in this case. J.K. Dobbins is the guy that I do like a lot, so we're going to throw him in real quick, $6,600. He's right in this range of prices. So James Conner's $5,000. I don't mind him, but he's a little bit riskier. So I think he's a guy you could probably plug and play in some lineups, but he's not a guy I'm going after in a higher percentage of my lineups. Kareem Hunt, kind of the same way. He's decently priced, but he hasn't been producing quite as well recently. But with that being said, he could be involved in this game, and he's definitely somebody that you want to have exposure to. Latavius Murray, like I said before, if Alvin Kamara is out, you definitely have to play him. I expect him to be very, very highly played if that is the case. Gus Edwards, he's a guy that you can kind of throw in probably, your second running back spot, your flex spot if you need somebody cheap to throw in there. Ty Montgomery, he could have a little bit of exposure if Kamara is out. So once again, we got, if you want to pay way up for Derrick Henry, Alvin Kamara is a pay up as well. Once again, he's been dealing with that COVID issue. So if he plays, then he could definitely be worth the price, but it is a little bit of a risk. If not, then you're going to go down to Latavius Murray, kind of shake out your money elsewhere. Then we got David Montgomery. Not the biggest fan there. Nick Chubb's decent in this one. So for this lineup that we're building, I'm going to throw Latavius Murray in there right now. I still have questions whether or not Alvin Kamara is going to play, so we're just going to try this line this way. So we move over to wide receiver. Wide receiver, there's definitely a lot of guys out there. A.J. Brown, they do have him listed as questionable. I know he's been banged up pretty much all year. Let's just take a look. Knee in hand. So I'm not really too concerned about him playing. He's not the guy that I really want to pay up for at $7,000 going against Marlon Humphrey as long as Marlon Humphrey is playing. Allen Robinson, kind of the same way, He's going to get the targets, but Marshawn Lattimore covering him, not a guy I'm too excited about. Michael Thomas, coming back, first week back, $6,300. You probably want to have him in some of your lines, but I'm not going to be too high on him overall. This is where I get to. These Pittsburgh Steelers wide receivers, Deonte Johnson, Juju Smith-Schuster, Chase Claypool, When you're playing Ben Roethlisberger, I want to stack two of these guys with Roethlisberger. So in this case, we're going to stack Deonte Johnson and probably stack Claypool just because he's cheaper. But you can make a case for any two of these three. And then we got Jarvis Landry here. I think he could have a decent game. Definitely a guy that you can play in some lines. Then we already talked about all the Steelers wide receivers. Marquis Brown is actually a really interesting name in this one. Tennessee's defense hasn't been too good overall. I think this game ends up in a shootout, and he could have some pretty good value. We're going to throw him in this line real quick, though. Obviously, you still see up here that we have a pretty good chunk of money left, so we might even go back and change this around a little bit. Emmanuel Sanders, $5,000. Not a terrible value there. If Michael Thomas would not play for some reason, which I don't expect, for $5,000, Sanders definitely could pay off there. Definitely somebody you look at would be Jared Cook in that situation as well. Corey Davis, $4,800. He's a pretty decent value play as well. Definitely someone you can consider. Rashard Higgins, I'm not too high on, even though he is pretty cheap. Darnell Mooney, he hurt his ankle, and we don't know if he's going to play. If he does play, he's going to be banged up. So he's very, very risky. I probably tried to fade him. But Traquan Smith, he's probably another guy to be avoiding as well, whether he's back or not. Then we got Willie Snead. He's questionable once again. He's another guy to be avoiding. Miles Boykin, you could probably have a little bit of exposure to if you need a cheap play. Anthony Miller could be a decent one if Mooney doesn't play. Donovan Peoples-Jones, he's dealing with a concussion, so I'm not really excited about him. Marquez Callaway, if Traquan Smith, if Michael Thomas were both out, he's definitely somebody you could play for cheap, if you need to. Then Des Bryant, we're not excited about. He's not getting very many targets, not on the field too much. Duvernay, if you need a real cheap dart throw, he could definitely be someone on your mind. Then you get down to some of these other Saints wide receivers. So if Michael Thomas and Traquan Smith wouldn't play, you could look at a Juwan Johnson, a little Jordan Humphrey, Austin Carr, somebody like that. But they're all just dart throws essentially. Marvin Hall is somebody you could look at, if Peoples-Jones is out. Obviously, Carter Hodge is already out as well. So he's definitely somebody to consider. Jamarcus Bradley, maybe another one for a dart throw. Just whoever that third wide receiver in Cleveland would be, but I'm not too excited about either of those guys. James Washington's another dart throw character down there as well. But that's pretty much it as far as wide receivers go. At tight end on this slate is actually very stacked. So you got Mark Andrews, definitely could be a good value there, $5,200. So you're definitely paying up for him compared to some of the other guys. Jared Cook, $4,600. Like I said already, if Michael Thomas is out, he should have a pretty good role, especially if Alvin Kamara is not in there too. If you don't have Alvin Kamara, Michael Thomas, or Traquan Smith, Jared Cook's definitely somebody you want to consider. Austin Hooper is somebody, on paper it doesn't look that good here, second against fantasy points for tight ends, but it could be a good value as well. Eric Ebron's definitely someone to consider, especially when you're playing Roethlisberger as your quarterback. Jimmy Graham, Jonnu Smith, Cole Kmet, they're all kind of that same range, where they're real cheap guys. They could perform well or not, The Saints have been better against tight ends in recent weeks, so I wouldn't be going after them too hard. I don't think there's anybody lower on the slate, unless you're looking at like a cheap dart throw. You could do a cheap dart throw for like Njoku, Ferkser, Adam Troutman, somebody like that if you really, really want to, but on a small slate as this is, you need to be going after some of these guys towards the top. So in this case, I think we can just play Mark Andrews. We got enough money left that it's not going to really matter too much. And then at defense, from the bottom up, we're going to go, we got the Titans. They're not somebody I'm really interested in. They don't have very good defense overall. The Ravens have been putting up points. They've been playing pretty well lately, so I'm not excited about them at all. The Browns, if you want to go a cheap defense here, you could pick the Browns, hope that they can get some turnovers against Big Ben and that offense, but I'm not too excited about that one. Same thing goes with the Bears. If they can get after Drew Brees, make him uncomfortable, make some throws that are very questionable, but it's not something that I'm very excited about either. Ravens, I'm probably not going to touch at all. So for me, it's pretty much these two guys. So I'd play the Saints or the Steelers. In this case, I'm going to play the Steelers. We kind of got the Steelers loaded up here with Roethlisberger, Johnson, Claypool. So I want to see them get out to a lead and then get some turnovers on the back end as well. In this case, we have $7,200 left over. So we got a lot of options here. And You got these top end guys here. So this is an example like when you're building your lineup, though, honestly, you have this much money left over and you don't have as many good plays, you can kind of tinker around with it a little bit. So I'm going to take Latavius Murray out, and then we're going to put Derrick Henry in here. Obviously, we only have $2,500 left, so we probably have to change a couple other positions around, but just a different example to show you guys. We'll go back to tight end. We'll find a tight end here. Mark Andrews is a little bit higher price, so let's just go down to Austin Hooper. Yeah, we'll go down to Austin Hooper. So that gives us $3,800. Still probably want to free up a little bit more money than that, so we'll go back to tight end one more time. Just go down to Cole Kmet because he's $3,000. He's been getting targets lately. If he gets a touchdown, he definitely could pay off, even though Jimmy Graham has been getting some of them as touchdowns. Got $4,700 left. That's something I'm a little bit more comfortable with. And we're going to go down to that range. So honestly, what I want to get here, I want to get Kareem Hunt. And we're going to have to free up another $100. But the reason I'm going after Kareem Hunt in this situation is we got Big Ben, we got Deonte Johnson, we got Chase Claypool. So bringing it back on the other side, you want that receiving back on the other side. So I'm going to take Deonte out of here. I think we can go with Juju and have enough money that way. Correct. So then we still have $600 left. So we could go back to tight end if we wanted to. And, we could go up to Jimmy Graham, Jonnu Smith if we really wanted to. We could go up to the Saints defense if we want to. It just shows you guys a couple different possibilities here. You could go up to Ryan Tannehill if you really wanted to, but I'd probably change the whole way I built my roster in that situation. But overall, this is just a quick overview of the Sunday slate and building a roster with it. My thoughts on each position group and kind of the players and how they're priced. If you guys have any more DFS questions at all, please feel free to reach out to me, whether it's down in the comments, at my email, CoachCraigSports@gmail.com, on Twitter at CoachCraigSport, or on the Coach Craig Sports Facebook page. I greatly appreciate it if you guys reach out to me, and I will do my best to help you. If you guys have any questions at all, whether it's the Saturday slate, the Sunday slate, single games, anything like that, please let me know. If you want to see me go over that single game Sunday slate, the free contest as well, we can talk about a couple different strategies with that, building lineups for the single game slate, and go from there as well. So if you guys are interested in that, please let me know. And once again, if you guys liked and enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. I greatly appreciate it. If you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing. It really helps build the community that we're trying to build here at Coach Craig Sports. And that's really one for you, the viewers, helping you with your fantasy football teams, helping you guys with DFS. I'm going to be talking some different content going into the off season. Like I said, going to have the head coaching video series starting tomorrow, going through each team that has a head coach in vacancy, the candidates that they're talking about interviewing or have already interviewed, their kind of qualifications, and who I think would be the best fit or who I project will be the fit that they go with. But with that being said, if you're new or current subscribers yet to do so, also hit the notification bell down below. Let you know every single time I post up a new video. And with that being said, I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys do awesome in DFS this week, whether you guys are playing on DraftKings or FanDuel. I play on both too, so if you guys have questions on either site, feel free to reach out to me. I would greatly appreciate it, and I really just want you guys to do the best that you can do this weekend as well. But with that being said, really hope you guys enjoyed this video one last time, and have a great rest of your day.